and welcome to Phantom Crossing. Today it is a miserable, dreary day on our fourth day here at Beacon Hills. Tom Nook, armed with his trusty Nook Ink umbrella, will be giving us our announcements. It's 7:31 on Wednesday, June 2nd. Timmy and Tommy have opened up their new shop today. It's a small shop, but they'll change stock daily and carry a selection of flooring and wallpaper. It's open from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m. When the shop isn't open, you can use the drop box to drop off anything you don't need, and payment will go right to your account. To celebrate the opening of the shop, we can now use the Nook shopping catalog. So any mass marketed items that I've encountered, I can then order through the Nook app, which is fantastic. Whenever we cover big island celebrations like this, we'll hold a commemorative celebration ceremony, and so we can look forward to that later today. And now Rook could be correct. Tom Nook is being extremely rude during his announcements and picking up his phone and then not telling us what it's about. Tom Nook, you sly old tanuki. So today on Beacon Hills, we will be checking out the new Nook's Cranny, and we will be moving forward in our gameplay, so talking to Tom Nook about getting some plots set up for additional residents on the island, as well as crafting all of the items that are needed for those 3 plots. But first, we have to, of course, pay off Tom Nook and the loan so that we can take another loan and expand the house even further. So since I do have those bells that I picked up from my other profile, we can pay off the loan right away, and then we can expand so that we have additional room in the house and additional storage space. But Tom Nook again is picking up his phone while he's talking to somebody and talking about contracts and moving. This is where I realized that instead of villager hunting and inviting the villagers that I wanted before placing the plots, I had waited too long, and so now Tom already had 3 people who were ready to move into those plots. So learning curve for next time, I need to go villager hunting before the first 3 plots are even placed. That way I can pick the villagers that I invite, as opposed to Tom letting any old Tom, Dick, or Harry who calls move to Beacon Hills. So I will still be placing the plots because we have to do that to move the game forward, again, to our goal of getting 3 stars. So first, Tom wants me to build a bridge in case I want to place any of the plots across the rivers. So we're going to do that first. We're going to collect our Nook miles, and then we're going to check out what we need for the bridge to be constructed. So for our bridge, we're going to make sure we have 4 log stakes, 4 pieces of clay, and 4 stones. And the log stakes require wood. So we'll run back to the house and we'll get some wood, we'll get some stone, and we'll get some clay so that we can craft what we need for the bridge. I do find it interesting that the first bridge you have to craft and then subsequent bridges you can buy. It would be nice if you could always craft the log bridge instead of purchasing it for almost 100,000 bells. If I could make it out of stuff I could find on the island this time, I don't know why I couldn't do it in the future, but that's Tom Nook's brain for you. Now that we have the kit, we have to pick a place to deploy it, and so I really wanted to be able to put it down here at the very mouth of the river, but it's just not quite wide enough. You can see on the side we're on, it was 4 wide, but on the opposite side it was only 3 wide. So it has to be 4 for the bridge to be able to go into place. So We moved it up to where it was straight and narrow and placed it there instead. That'll just let us go back and forth for now, and then once we can build additional bridges and inclines, I'm gonna put one down there at the river mouth, and then we'll probably just demolish the one we just built. So now, Tom, we need to know what should I do? So since the bridge won't be ready, we'll take the 3 housing kits so that we can place them around our village and get those villagers to move in one by one. Thanks, Tom. I mentioned earlier that the plan is to make this like a close-knit village, but these plots are gigantic to start with, so I had to kind of play around a little bit with where I was going to place them. I knew I wanted them in a row, and I knew I wanted like a little alleyway between them so that I could put some pathing down in between the houses like a real village. Tom is now reminding me that I need to look in the boxes to see what items that I need to prepare for these people that he already invited to my island. So we'll do that once we place all the plots down, because then we can build all of the stuff at the same time and place it all at the same time as well. We'll just get this out of the way, because we want the plot to go right in front of this house that already exists. It's not quite right, needed to move up just a little bit, and that looks perfect. Yep. Now, plot 3 was a little bit trickier just because it's harder to know how many spaces were between the back houses and these plots. So there's definitely a little bit of trial and error here. After Tom tells me that I can now build a ladder so that I can go get the flowers from the cliffs in the back. Little does he know I already have a ladder, so that really isn't necessary. But I just wanted to see here that it was essentially like 2 and a little bit away, to make sure that I had the same depth between the houses in the back to the middle as I do from the middle to the front. Best way to do that before you get pathing is to use your shovel. Each hole is 1 grid tile wide, so you can really see and make sure it's the same. So I need orange wall-mounted clock, orange end table, stone stools, clothesline, stone table, wooden block stereos, and tables, the windflower wreath, the iron garden furniture, and the birdhouse, as well as wooden simple bed and chair and the pitcher, and the log garden lounge stool and water pump. So, variety of things that I need to get materials for, so I had to put a bunch of stuff away before I could get enough material to come out here. And rather than have to go back into Nooks every time, I just built myself a workbench that I can keep outside, so that I have my own and don't have to keep using Tom's. So we'll place that there next to resident services and go pick up the oranges that we need for the wall clock and the end table. Didn't realize that each of them needed 10 though, so I did not have enough oranges and had to go back for more. So now we have both orange items and the pot for the first house, the stone table and chair, and the clothesline we'll build in a minute so that we have everything for the first house. Oh, but I needed to gather sticks, that's right. Because the clothesline required sticks and I didn't have any. So that's the first house. Now we're crafting things for the second house. Interior and exterior items, so that we can get ready to place those. We got 3 of 6 for the third house done. but our pockets are too full, so we're just going to go place some of those items in the boxes and alongside the houses as well. We can quick get that present. Plastic canister, so nothing that I would even remotely be interested in using. But that's okay, because we have all of the items for house 1. We even got some Nook Miles for it. So now on to house 2. We can drop everything but the windflower wreath, which we'll have to go get the flowers for. But I figured we would wait until after I had built all of the rest of the items and deposited them, so that all I needed was the windflowers. So now we're finishing up the 3 items for house 3. The water pump, the log lounger, and the log stool. And then we can get going to getting the windflowers. So now house 1 and 3 are complete. All we need is the wreath for house 2. So we'll go get the flowers that we need, but first we gotta figure out what kind we need. So we need red, orange, and white. Now that we have them, we can build the wreath. We can put it in house 2, and we can be all done. Home furnishing and prep work is all done. Everything's all finished, Tom. No problem. The hard work was really just nothing. We could get someone in their new home as early as tomorrow, so we will look at the sold signs and see who they are, because again, I had thought I would have the opportunity to villager hunt, but just realized here that Tom had already sold all 3 plots. So there will be no villager hunting for the first 3 villagers. And that ends a rainy day 4 of disappointment on Beacon Hills. Thanks for watching.